Hey everybody, John here from What's Johnny Watching, your place for physical media reviews and collecting. And today, I'm finally going to get into these Steelbook releases from Warner Brothers, Rocky, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, and Rocky 4, along with the Rocky vs. Drago cut. So let's get started. Rocky. What else can be said about Rocky? This transfer has probably made this is the best this is ever going to look with the Dolby Vision and HDR10 grading. The colors stand out. The black levels are nice and crisp. I didn't pick up any crushing issues or blooming issues. No audio drops that I could find. I mean, this is a home run right here. To give a look on the inside, you have the 4K disc itself, no artwork, and the Blu-ray disc, which I believe is the 2014 version. I'm not sure. And the artwork on the inside. The Dolby Vision really stands out during the final fight between Rocky and Apollo. It's just... Now, one issue I did have with the audio, which is the DTS HD Master 5.1, in the final fight between Rocky and Apollo, after the fights ended and Rocky's yelling for Adrian, you could barely hear the ring announcer. He's kind of drowned out by the crowd. I don't know if that was an aesthetic choice for Avildsen or whoever did the sound. That was my only complaint about this particular release, but everything else looks wonderful. Now we come to the sequel, Rocky 2. Again, the Dolby Vision really stands out. The colors pop. I found no crushing or blooming or anything like that. Colors really stand out. There's a lot of added depth to it, especially the fight scene at the very end. And when Rocky's when he's going out making commercials, you can see like what the makeup looks like on him when they add it to him. It's bad, but you overlook that because you kind of get it. For the audio, it's still the same DTS HD 5.1 mix. A lot of people have said that they've had some complaints about the audio. I didn't find any. I didn't hear any. There's no drops or anything like that I could find. And with this, here, give you a look at the discs themselves. There's the 4K disc, no artwork, and the Blu-ray disc, which was released on one of the previous Blu-ray sets, and the artwork with Rocky and Apollo. I mean, these are really nice Steelbooks with the matte finish. So overall, it's a really good film. It holds up. Everything looks great in it. Audio issues were a lot of the problems people had with it. I couldn't find any. Okay, we have come to Rocky 3. I had problems with this transfer. Nothing audio-wise that I could find. No drops. Everything was clear and centered and everything. But my major issue, the issue with this was the grain. There's heavy grain in this, and you'll go from a scene with grain to a scene without it, back to a scene with it, back to a scene without it. The DNR seems to be a real issue here. There's also a scene where it's right after Mickey has passed away, and Rocky goes to Mickey's gym, and Apollo comes in and they're talking. and it just feels like the black levels almost swallow the entire scene. It just, it was a little unnerving to me, because I was afraid that it was just going to keep creeping in and creeping in. It was just going to swallow everything. You just have lights, a little bit of light on Apollo, a little bit of light on Rocky and the ring, and the rest of it just is black. It just didn't look right. Again, that's a DNR issue with the transfer, and that was the main problem I had with this. The audio is great, especially when they play, everyone knows the song The Eye of the Tiger. They play that. When that hits, it sounds amazing. You look at the Steelbook itself, Rock and Mick, spine. And here's the 4K disc, no artwork, and the Blu-ray disc. Essentially the same design as the others. As for the artwork on the inside, we just have Rocky at a speed bag. And I've heard rumors that Mr. T wouldn't let Warner Brothers will use his likeness for the inside of it. That could be it, or maybe they just didn't want to focus on that. I don't know, since the rest of them have Rocky versus the antagonist inside the artwork there. But the colors, that works, the audio works. It's just my issue was with the grain and the DNR. And finally, we come to Rocky 4. Now, there are two cuts in this particular release. There's the theatrical release and the Rocky vs. Drago cut, which was oversaw by Stallone himself. I'll talk a little bit about the theatrical cut now. It has the same Dolby Vision HDR10 color grading and the DTS HD 5.1 master mix. Both of those are really good. Colors pop. There's added depth and everything else. The audio, again, I had no problems with the audio, no drops. Everything sounded centralized and clear and everything. A lot of people talked about the aspect ratio changed in some scenes. I didn't notice it until I saw Adam from Movie Guy 365, his review, and I saw a scene where he mentioned a scene where Rocky was washing his car and the aspect ratio changed ever so slightly. So I went back and I was like, wait a minute, was it? Yeah, so it was there. But aside from that, I didn't notice anything else. It's a really good transfer on this with the HDR10 and the Dolby Vision. The audio sounds really nice. It's not a bad transfer. And now we get to the Rocky vs. Drago cut, which is included in this release. I have to say, in my opinion, the Rocky vs. Drago cut is the best looking and the best sounding one out of the whole bunch. I've got one little issue with the sound, but that is really not that big of a deal when you look at the whole picture of it. Stallone said he wanted to come out and recut this, and when he did this is almost an entirely new film, and it plays so much better than the theatrical cut. Now, a lot of us who grew up, in the 80s, and we remember Rocky IV having certain scenes in it. Stallone has come in and he's completely removed the robot scene. It really didn't work for the rest of the film. I don't know why it was in there, but we remember it for having the robot and certain things with the Russians themselves. But he has come in and he has cut things out, and it just feels like an entirely new movie. and the pacing, everything works. It flows. The Dolby Vision and the HDR10 color grading are outstanding. You get this, there's so much depth in this. The colors just explode off the screen with the reds, the blues, the yellows, the greens, I mean purples, you name it, it just pops. The scene where Rocky is in Russia during his training in the snow, there's no blooming, everything looks wonderful. As for the sound itself, this is a DTS HD Master 5.1, and I gotta say, when I was watching this in my living room, this felt like an Atmos track. And it just, the songs that are used and the score, even the fights, the final fight between Rocky and Drago, and the fight between Drago and Apollo, the punches sound more realistic as opposed to the theatrical cut or the Rocky 3. It just sounds more realistic, and watching the beads of sweat come down, just everything looks more realistic than on the theatrical cut of Rocky 4. This is now the issue I have with the audio. Maybe it's just my setup, I don't know, but it sounds like, the way it was coming through my speakers, it sounded like everything was in an echo chamber. I don't know if that's an issue on my part or on this particular release, but that, I can overlook that, and you can overlook that, because this cut is so much better than the theatrical one. And just to give you a look at the Steelbook itself, everyone remembers that. There's the spine. There's the back with Rocky and Drago. And here's the 4K. You have Rocky 4, and then you have the Rocky versus Drago cut. And the Blu-ray disc, which doesn't include the Drago cut. And as for the artwork on the inside, this is the I Must Break You scene, which everyone loves. So this, I gotta hand it to Stallone. I gotta hand it to Warner Brothers for releasing this Drago cut. This is an amazing job. Yeah, there's my sort of reviews on these 4 Steelbook releases for the Rocky 1 through 4 plus the Drago cut. Leave a comment down below if you picked this up, or if you're going to pick it up. Give me your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you like what you saw, don't forget to hit like, click that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. So until next time, see you later.